Hello my friends and welcome to today's video where we will be using whole wheat kernels. I found these number 10 cans of hard white wheat in my food storage downstairs. And today we will be using it to cook, not bread. We will not be grinding it and putting it into bread. We will be making other things because if you do get your hands on this, you don't always have to grind it and make bread. Although I would recommend that because it's good for you and
it tastes good.
it tastes really good. Nutritious and delicious. Today, we're gonna kick off by making pancakes. And so I will be making, my kids call them blendy pans, but they're blender pancakes where you take the whole wheat and milk and blend it in your blender of choice to make your batter. So you do need some kind of heavy duty blender. Mine is just a Ninja. It's not even like a Vitamix or the Blendtec powerful ones. It's cheaper than that. And this one works totally fine. I'll leave the recipe down below, but I am doubling it because my family is at that point where I have to double this recipe or we don't have enough. I probably will end up with a couple of leftovers, but these pancakes are so good. They are 100% whole wheat kernels, very little sugar, except for like, of course, the syrup you add at the end. But let's get going. Okay, because I'm doubling it, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a mess, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm doing 2 whole cups of the wheat berry kernels. I like the white wheat because it has a milder texture than the red wheat. So if you get a choice of what you're gonna pick, and you like a more mild flavor, try the white instead of the red. The red is gonna be darker and more coarse, almost like a rye flavor almost. Sorry about the mess, man. And add equal amounts of milk. So I'm gonna add 2 cups of milk and we're gonna blend it for a couple of minutes, like 2 minutes on high. So if the noise bothers you, maybe put some headphones in or something. Hey, our 2 minutes are over and it's not, ooh. I don't know what the matter is with me. I cannot do this without making a mess. And we're gonna do one more milk add. I'm like throwing milk and wheat all over the kitchen. We're gonna add 1 more cup of milk and blend for another 2 minutes. Because, I mean, the wheat berries are very, very hard. So it does take some time to grind them up to be able to actually eat them. I mean, you could eat them whole, but that's a lot of whole fiber, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, 2 more minates. Okay, we have ground it through twice. And I know it's gonna look a little liquidy, but it's gonna be okay. Next up, 4 eggs, or if you're not doubling it, 2 eggs. 2 teaspoons of salt, or 1, depending on how much you're making. 2.
Kind of a lot.
And I'm adding 2/3 cup of Earl. Any oil of your choice. I love having a 2/3 cup measuring cup, just wanna say. It's the best ever. And 2 tablespoons of sweetener of your choice. I usually use honey, but honey is very sticky. So today we're gonna use brown sugar, use white sugar, you could use agave syrup, I don't really care. Monk fruit, I don't know. So 2 tablespoons of a sweetener and mix again for 30 seconds. My last ingredient is baking powder. This one is essential. Make sure you have a very good quality baking powder that isn't too old. You want the baking powder to help rise. Because I doubled it, I'm going with 2 tablespoons and then we're just gonna do a very, very quick zhuzh in the blender one last time and it will be time to pour it onto our griddle, which I've had preheating this whole time. Don't forget to put the lid on before you start it and crap. I'm gonna have to wipe this whole thing down. I was only about 10 seconds there. In case you guys were wondering, my capacity is 72 ounces in this blender. So based on the capacity of your blender, you'll be able to gauge whether or not you can double it or not. Now I'm ready to make the pancakes. So I'm sitting at 1.5 liters of batter right here, and it is gonna feel a little liquidy. So you see how it's like slightly liquidy here? And I like to do my pancakes with a 1/4 cup measuring cup. I find that's the perfect amount. And today I'm using coconut oil as my fat on my griddle. Now Now, because I have a big family, I'm a huge fan of a griddle. Back before I had a ton of kids, I would try to make pancakes like on a smaller griddle or on just a pan on the stove, and it takes forever. So if you have as many kids as I do or more of them, you're gonna need a griddle. Mine's a cheapy from Kohl's. I think with a rebate back, it was free, and I've had it for maybe 5 years at this point. My griddle's just under 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it looks like that's not hot enough. They're not, I'm gonna take it up to 350. Right, Andrew? Mm-hmm. They look a little liquidy at this point.
Yeah.
There we go, that one was better.
That's how it should look.
Why is it that the first batch of pancakes is always like the worst looking one? I don't know why that is, but that's the case. Okay, that's the ugliest batch for sure. So I'm gonna get out a cutting board so I'll have somewhere to put these as they cook. Even though I doubled my recipe and neither Dave nor I had pancakes, this is all we have left, which is why I typically double or quadruple anything that's like waffles or muffins or pancakes or anything like that. I really hope you guys try out this pancake recipe. I've been making it for over 10 years. It is so... Hey, next up on our wheat berry cooking, I have 2 cups of wheat berries I soaked overnight, just like you would dried beans almost. And after you do that, you can boil it very similar to rice and use it basically in any recipe that you would use brown rice. So today I'm gonna be cutting this in half and making 2 dishes, a wheat berry and white bean salad and just a straight up wheat berry and onion mustard side dish, like with a mustard vinaigrette. I probably said that wrong. Anyway, I'm gonna drain this, cut it into 2, and let's start cooking our other 2 dishes. Let's start with 1 to 2 shallots in some olive oil, and I will saute these, until the shallots soft. I will add my soaked wheat berries, salt, and water. Our cooked shallots are done, so let's add in our 1 cup of berries, a little bit of salt, maybe a teaspoon or so, and for now, about 3 cups of water. We can add more water later if it soaks up all of this. And this is going to simmer for about 50 minutes. My wheat berries with the shallots are cooked. I did have to drain out a little bit of extra water. There's some right there that you can see. And I am mixing up my vinaigrette, which is basically a mustard vinaigrette. You can use whatever mustard you like. This is actually all I have in the house. A Dijon or a grainy mustard would be nice. And I'm gonna add in this jalapeno red wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of the mustard, 1 tablespoon of the vinegar. I just like to eyeball stuff because I like to live dangerously.
I also like to live dangerously.
And we will add some oil and salt to this. I'll whisk that together. Okay, this is our mustard vinaigrette, kind of, because we're always tasting as we go. So let's dump that on our wheat berries. Stir this around and we'll give it a little taste-a-roo. Now, ideally, you'll let this sit in the fridge for several hours to let the flavors come together. Okay, I added a touch of salt and a touch more acid. You would add some fresh herbs to this, but I don't have any of that, so we're gonna leave it out. But there you go. It's a nice little side dish. I really like to serve chicken, grilled chicken or something on the side of this, or chunked up and mixed into this would be really good. So there is one of my wheat berry side dishes for you. In a large pot of boiling water, I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt, woohoo! Just like you do when you make pasta. And add my 1 cup of soaked wheat berries and bring these to a boil and simmer until they are chewable, which is gonna take around 40 to 50 minutes or so. The dressing for my wheat berry bean salad is mustard, balsamic vinegar, soy sauce, lemon juice, oil, a little bit of garlic, and salt and pepper, and I believe I didn't forget anything. Don't worry, the recipe for you is down below. I'm gonna mix everything in this bowl right now. This dressing is delicious. I have been eating this salad for years and years and years, so I really hope you try it. Okay, the next step on this salad is to add your beans and vegetables that you want. Now, my favorite to add are cucumbers and tomatoes, but I don't have any of that. So today I do have a little bit of this slaw, some red cabbage, and carrots. So that's what I'm adding as far as my vegetables go, and a white bean of your choice. You can use garbanzo beans or navy beans.
Navy beans, navy beans, navy beans.
Today I'm going to be using cannellini beans that I cooked from dried cannellini beans that I cooked in my Instant Pot. Let's dump all of our veggies and beans inside now. Okay, my beans, carrots, and cabbage are in. Here comes the dressing. Stir this all together, and then we will taste for salt and pepper, and that will be our final add. Typically when I make this, I like to make the full batch, and this is my lunch, basically for about the next 4 days or so. It is vegan if that's something that is important to you and your diet. There's tons and tons of fiber in here. I can eat a whole bowl of this and like be satisfied for lunch. It's a lot of food, but at the same time, like doesn't weigh you down, if you know what I mean. Okay, there we go. I added some salt and pepper. Another nice addition would be green onions. And of course, if you guys have the cucumber, I highly recommend the cucumber go in here. It's really nice. I just really like the flavor of this one. And of course, it'll keep in the fridge for several days if you don't eat it right away. Hey guys, I was editing that video and it occurred to me that I did not say goodbye or close out the video or anything like that. I don't know. This whole day at home business has just gone to my head a little bit and I feel like I'm acting a little bit crazy. And if you ask Dave, he will totally agree with that. Basically, all I'm here to tell you is go try these recipes. I will leave all of them down below for you. The wheat berry white bean salad is from an old blog back in 2010, I believe, called Oh She Glows, and it's fabulous. I have made it over the years for people who are looking for a healthier option for lunches or dinners, and it's always gone over well. The blender pancakes I have been making for my family for 15 years. That one's spectacular as well. I will leave my blender that I have down below in the description box for you. Of course, if you have like a Vitamix or Blendtec or Bosch blender or something like that, it should all work. You just want to make sure that your blender will be up to grinding something that hard for that long. And then the mustard vinaigrette is gonna be really, really nice as a side dish, like I said, for grilled chicken, which is actually what I ended up doing. I grilled some chicken that I had in my freezer out on the grill outside and pulled it all off the bone and kind of sprinkled it on top as its own bowl. So the wheat berries on the bottom, the chicken is on the top, and that's what we're having for lunch today actually, and I'm really excited about it. If you guys can get your hands on some whole wheat berries, try out some different recipes that's not necessarily homemade bread. Now, if you do want to make 100% whole wheat bread, don't you worry, I do have a recipe coming up soon on 100% whole wheat bread and 100% whole wheat rolls and grinding your own wheat and that kind of things. If you're interested in that, look for that in the next couple weeks. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe in your areas. If you want to see any of the other videos that I've done, click on the screen. If you haven't subscribed yet, maybe consider doing that. I am doing a 125,000 subscriber celebration live stream in the next couple days. So if you hit the notification bell, you won't miss that. And I will see you in the next video.